Many people like us, who are learning English, like to use TED Talks. But we have trouble reading TED Talk scripts, due to difficult words and sentences we don't understand. It can end up causing us to lose our motivation. So, I made the English in the TED Talk simpler. I broke it down into easier sentences, to help you understand better. When you start with these easier sentences, you can get a basic idea of what the talk is about. And if you come across something you don't understand, it sparks your curiosity to learn more. And when you watch the TED Talk, while following these simpler sentences, it'll be much easier to understand the original one. Reading practice. For speaking. Read silently or aloud, as if you were telling it to someone else. Audio will be without repetition, with a brief pause between each chunk or sentence.
What makes a good life? Lessons from the longest study on happiness. What is important for our health and happiness in life? If you want to invest in your future, where should you spend your time and energy? A recent survey of young people found that over 80% of them said their main goal in life was to become rich. And 50% of these young people said another major goal was to become famous. People often tell us to work hard, try our best, and do more. They make it seem like these are the things we should chase for a good life. Seeing the whole story of people's lives. The choices they make. And how those choices turn out is very hard. Most of what we know about life comes from asking people to remember the past. But looking back, things aren't always clear. We forget a lot about what happens to us. And sometimes our memory is not exactly accurate. We are often told to work harder, to strive for more. We are led to believe that these are the things we need to pursue for a good life. It's very difficult to get a complete picture of someone's life. The choices they make, and the outcomes of those choices. Most of what we understand about human life comes from asking people to recall the past. But as we know, looking back is not always accurate. We forget a lot of what happens in our lives. And sometimes our memories can be quite creative. But what if we could see people's entire lives? From when they were teenagers to old age? What if we could study them? To find out what truly makes people happy and healthy? But what if we could see people's entire lives? As they happen over time? Imagine if we could research individuals from their teenage years to when they're old. Understanding what truly brings happiness and health. We did that. We conducted a study. That might be the longest study on adult life ever done. For 75 years, we followed the lives of 724 men. Year after year, asking about their work, home lives, and health. Throughout the study, we did not know how their life stories were going to turn out. Studies like this are really rare. Most projects of this kind don't last more than 10 years. Because people leave the study. The money for research runs out. Or the researchers get busy or pass away. And no one continues the work. But luckily, and because many researchers kept trying, this study has continued. Around 60 of the first 724 men are still alive. Participating, most of them in their 90s. Now, we're starting to study. The more than 2,000 children of these men. And I'm the fourth person in charge of the study. Studies like this are very rare. Most projects like this fail within 10 years. Because too many people leave the study. The research funding runs out. The researchers get distracted, or they die. And no one continues the work. But this study has survived. Due to a combination of luck. And the persistence of several generations of researchers. About 60 of the original 724 men. are still alive and participating in the study. Most of them in their 90s. We are now starting to study. The over 2,000 children of these men. I am the fourth director of this study.